Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the key to unlimited riches lies not in your bank account, not in your job title, but in what you program into your mind every single night? Before the world even sees your effort, the universe must first hear your intent. Every night is a sacred moment, a doorway to plant the seed of wealth into your subconscious. And if you program it right, the world has no choice but to reflect it back. Every great fortune, every towering achievement, every monument to wealth that you see in this world began not with money, not with luck, and not with connections, but with one single spark of definite desire. The kind of desire that burns so clearly in a person's heart that it becomes impossible to ignore. Not just for them, but for the world around them. Desire is not a vague wish. It is not a casual thought that drifts across your mind and disappears when things get difficult. No, true desire is a fire, a white-hot intensity that becomes an obsession. It is the origin point of every form of riches. It is the seed from which success must grow. And unless you plant that seed with precision, with clarity, and with passion, nothing can take root. Every night before you sleep, you must become the author of your desire. Define exactly what you want. Not just, I want to be rich, but how rich? By when? Doing what? Living where? Impacting whom? What does your rich life look like? What does it feel like? What time do you wake up in this life? Who are you surrounded by? What kind of conversations are you having? That's the kind of desire that creates movement in your subconscious. That's the kind of detail that commands the universe to respond. A drifting, uncertain desire has no magnetic pull, but a definite desire, backed by burning emotion, becomes a force that bends circumstances, attracts opportunities, and turns obstacles into stepping stones. When you make your desire so specific that you can see it like a movie behind your eyelids each night, you're no longer hoping for success. You're summoning it. This is why the mind must be given instruction. Like a ship's captain gives orders to his crew, you must give your mind a destination. And when you give it that destination with clarity, emotion, and repetition, the mind sets to work, night and day, seeking, sifting, and sorting everything around you to make that desire real. So remember, your fortune does not begin with money. It does not begin with effort. It begins with a choice, a decision, a crystal clear desire claimed without apology. Program that desire nightly. Name it. Own it, obsess over it. Because definite desire is not just the beginning of wealth. It is the birth of destiny. Words are not just sounds. Words are forces. They are commands sent from your conscious mind to the subconscious. And the subconscious, once instructed with enough emotion and repetition, will carry out any order without question, whether it leads to prosperity or poverty. That's why what you say to yourself, especially in the silence of night, matters more than most people will ever understand. The truth is, you are always speaking something into existence. The question is what? Are you declaring abundance? Or are you murmuring defeat? Are you reinforcing wealth or rehearsing lack? Most people go to sleep reciting the language of limitation. I'll never get ahead. Money is tight. I'm not lucky like them. And without realizing it, they are placing nightly orders for more struggle, more resistance, more scarcity. But those who rise above average, those who seem to attract riches effortlessly, they know a different truth. They speak riches into life. They speak as if the fortune they seek is already theirs, not in arrogance, but in faith. Not because they see it yet, but because they have chosen to believe before the evidence appears. You must become fluent in the language of wealth, and you must speak it to yourself, aloud, if possible, every night before sleep. Say things that feel bold, even uncomfortable at firsting. I am wealthy. Money flows to me in increasing amounts. I am worthy of great fortune. Every idea I act on leads to prosperity. Don't wait until it feels true. Say it until it becomes true, because the subconscious mind doesn't care if what you say is true or false. It simply absorbs, and if it hears the same confident, wealth-centered statements every night, it will begin to accept them as commands, and organize your thoughts, behaviors, and perceptions to match. Your words are seeds. Speak with conviction, and those seeds take root. Speak with doubt, and nothing grows. The richest soil for these seeds is the mind at rest, the mind just before sleep, when resistance is low and receptivity is high. That is the time to declare who you are and what you expect. That is when the spoken word holds the most power. So don't speak as a beggar. Speak as the architect of your future. Speak as the person who knows that every word is shaping the unseen. Speak until the world no longer hears your wishes, but feels your certainty. Because those who dare to speak riches into existence are the ones bold enough to receive them. Your mind is a projector, and every thought you allow to play on its screen becomes a blueprint for your reality. But most people, without realizing it, spend their mental energy replaying scenes of failure, rejection, struggle, and fear. They see the roadblocks, the closed doors, the unpaid bills. And because that's what they focus on, that's exactly what they continue to experience. The mind, once fed an image over and over again, will do whatever it must to make it true. But those who rise into wealth, those who seem to pull success from the unseen, they practice a different discipline. They use the mind not to dwell on what can go wrong, but to rehearse what must go right. They visualize the outcome, not the obstacle. They live in the result before the result ever touches the physical world. Each night before you sleep, you must create the movie of your success. Not vague dreams, but the vivid, rich, visceral experiences that feel so real your heart starts to race. Picture yourself closing the deal. Picture your signature on that check. Picture the applause at your success, the conversations you'll have, the travel, the ease, the freedom. Smell the scent of your new car. Hear the silence of your paid-off home. Feel the texture of the life you are designing. The more senses you involve, the more powerful the impression on your subconscious. Do not allow thoughts of how impossible it might be to interfere. The how is not your concern at this stage. That belongs to the deeper mind, to the part of you that works silently, organizing people, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances around your dominant vision. Your only task is to see the end and feel it as if it has already come to pass. This is not fantasy. This is rehearsal. Just as a performer prepares for the stage, or an athlete for the game, you are preparing your mind for wealth. The more you practice victory in your inner world, the more naturally it will appear in your outer world. You will begin to recognize doors that were invisible before. You will say the right words, meet the right people, take the right steps. Not because of luck, but because your mind was already living the outcome and simply led your body to follow. When you visualize obstacles, your subconscious prepares you for defeat. When you visualize outcomes, your subconscious prepares you for triumph. So tonight and every night, reject the images of delay and doubt. Replace them with scenes of success so compelling, so emotionally charged, that your spirit begins to believe they are already yours. And when the belief is strong enough, the world will bend to match it, because what you hold in your mind long enough, with enough certainty, must eventually be held in your hands. Wealth is not only built with action, it is attracted through emotion. Before riches show up in your bank account, they must first exist in your emotional atmosphere. You cannot wait to feel wealthy after the money comes. You must feel wealthy before it ever arrives. This is the secret that separates those who merely wish from those who receive. Emotion is magnetic. It amplifies thought. It gives your desires voltage. When you mix belief with deep emotion, you are no longer just thinking. You are transmitting. You are impressing the subconscious mind in its native language feeling. The subconscious does not respond to logic. It responds to intensity. And the most powerful form of intensity is a heart soaked in emotion. So each night before sleep, you must not only visualize the outcome you desire, you must feel as if it's already yours. Close your eyes and imagine the money you want. Now go deeper. Feel the freedom that money brings. Feel the relief of debts gone, the peace of time bought back, the excitement of giving generously, the pride of accomplishing what others doubted. Let that feeling rise in your chest like it's already happening. Because to the subconscious, it is. Gratitude is one of the strongest emotions you can tap into. Give thanks now for the wealth that hasn't yet arrived. Say, "Thank you," with the same sincerity as if the deposit already cleared, the contract already closed, the dream already realized. Gratitude before the evidence is not delusion. It's creation. You are creating space for the wealth to show up. The more vividly you feel the emotion of wealth, the more the subconscious becomes convinced that wealth is your natural state. And once that belief takes root, you begin to act in harmony with it. You walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions from a higher place. You become more alert to opportunity and less tolerant of limitation. And the outer world begins to mirror the emotional world you've rehearsed. People try to earn wealth by force, by grinding, by effort alone. But they forget that the most powerful part of creation happens unseen, in the emotional rehearsal of success. If your heart still feels broke, even when your mind says you're rich, you will unconsciously reject the very abundance you're chasing. So feel rich now. Don't wait for the numbers. Don't wait for the applause. Feel what it's like to be free, to be generous, to be powerful, to live without financial fear. Let that emotion wrap around you like a warm blanket as you drift into sleep. Because when you feel wealth before it comes faster. Not by magic, but by law. What you emotionally accept as real will soon be drawn into your experience like iron to a magnet. You don't have to see the money yet. You only have to feel as though it's already part of you. And once that feeling becomes natural, wealth has no choice but to find its way into your life. Repetition is the hammer that builds belief. One strike may make a sound, but many strikes shape stone. In the same way, one thought spoken once may inspire you for a moment, but a thought repeated daily, night after night with emotion and certainty, builds a belief so unshakable that the world itself must adapt to match it. Most people quit too early. They say a few affirmations, visualize a few nights, feel good for a week. But when the outside doesn't change fast enough, they stop. What they don't understand is that repetition is not a gimmick. It's the process. It is the slow turning of the wheel that lifts you from doubt to faith, from faith to knowing, and from knowing to manifestation. The subconscious mind cannot resist repetition. It may challenge you at first, but eventually, if you are consistent, it will submit to your vision. The thoughts you repeat with conviction eventually take root as your identity. And once a belief becomes part of who you are, your results begin to shift automatically. Not through force, but through alignment. Every night before sleep, you must declare who you are becoming, not once, not twice, but over and over, until it feels like truth in your bones. Not because the world agrees yet. The world will not believe you at first. It will ignore you, doubt you, even mock you. But you must keep going until the world has no choice but to believe, because your actions, your presence, and your results are undeniable. Say it again and again. I am wealthy. I am a magnet for prosperity. Opportunities chase me. Say it when you believe it, and say it when you don't. Say it until the old voice of doubt is drowned out by the new voice of certainty. Say it until your mind stops questioning and starts aligning. There is a reason successful people often sound delusional. In the beginning, they are not speaking what is. They are speaking what will be, and doing it so consistently that eventually, what was once only a thought becomes their lived reality. And when it happens, the world forgets that they were ever doubted in the first place. All anyone sees is the success, never the years of repetition that built it. You are not waiting for proof. You are creating proof through persistence. You are training your mind, your habits, and your energy to reflect your vision. And just like water wears away stone, your daily repetition wears down resistance, inner and outer, until wealth flows toward you with ease. Do not measure the delay. Measure the discipline. The longer you hold the image, speak the words, and live the feeling, the more power you gain. Reality is slow to respond at first, but once it catches up, it moves with force. And when it does, the same world that once doubted you will stand in awe. So repeat, not until it feels good, but until it becomes real. Repeat until it echoes in your sleep. Repeat until your life becomes a reflection of your words. Because when you repeat with unshakable belief and act in alignment with what you've spoken, the world will no longer have the power to deny you. It will adjust to make you right. Each night, before you close your eyes, you're either programming poverty by default or planting the roots of wealth by design. So I ask you, what are you programming tonight? Because those who discipline their night thoughts command their days, and those who command their days inherit the riches of life. Start tonight. Don't wait. Program with purpose. Sleep rich. Wake richer. Thank you.